All right. So one of the things I want to do this year that we didn't get to do in the beginning of the year was learn most of the equations we did when it was linear relationships were slope-intercept form. So it was y equals mx plus b. So I wanted to show you a way that when you get equations that are not in slope-intercept form, that you'd be able to put them into slope-intercept form. So, and then maybe you could, graph it using the slope and the y-intercept and all that stuff. So, standard form equations look like this. So instead of mx plus b, they have a number times x, ax plus some other number times y equals another number. So a lot of times, if you're trying to graph or you just get information about the relationship, it's much easier to do so when it's in slope-intercept form because in high school you can use the standard form to graph with the x and y intercepts. But in eighth grade, we've been using a lot in slope-intercept form with mx plus b because you can easily get the slope and you can easily get the y-intercept as well. So basically the rate of change and the starting point of the function. So let's go through some examples, then you can pause the video and try some on your own. So this packet's a little backwards, but hopefully you can figure it out. So example one, convert the equation to standard from standard form to slope intercept form. So as you saw in the videos you just watched, the first step is always to bring over this 2x, the x term. So I subtract 2x here. Make sure you're copying this down. Let this focus a little better. And then subtract 2x on this side. So over here, you're left with 3y equals negative 2x plus 12. Remember from the videos, these are not like terms. I can't just say 12 minus 2x is 10x or just 10. I have to just write, no, 12 minus 2x or negative 2x plus 12, which is the same thing. So now the last step is to solve for y. So I'm going to divide by 3. But if I divide this by 3, I got to divide everything by 3. So divide by 3, divide by 3, keep everything balanced. I'm left with y equals. Now you can see over here, 12 divided by 3 is just 4. And over here, negative 2 divided by 3, I don't know, that doesn't come out evenly. And I don't want to write it as a decimal, so I'm just going to keep it as a fraction, negative 2/3 x. So that would be it. In slope-intercept form, if I went to graph it, I would start at 4 and go down 2/3. Example 2. Okay, so this one is kind of similar, I think, to the first video you saw. Same thing again, subtract 2x on both sides. Now you bring down the negative y equals. Now over here, you're left with negative 2x minus 4. Make sure you're copying this down. And again, the part here that's different is that because you have the negative, you have to put an assumed 1. So now the last step is to divide everything by negative 1, which in this case changes the answer or changes the sign. So you're left with y equals 2x plus 4. Negative divided by negative is positive. Negative divided by negative is positive. I would start at 4. I would use the slope of 2/1 if I was graphing that. Oh, I forgot to do that with the other one. But here, there's a place for the slope. So the slope is 2, and the y-intercept's 4. All right. Is there an example 3? Okay, I think there's one more example. I'm going to pause the video and have you try some of these. So example 3. So again, I'm trying to really just solve for that y, get that by itself. So I'm going to minus 4x on both sides, minus 4x on both sides. Bring this down. I'm going to write 5y, but I'm not going to forget to bring down that negative. And again, now I'm going to write, I don't know what this is. The signs are different. So it's negative 4x plus 20. Okay, divide everything by negative 5. I'm left with y equals 4/5 positive. because that's just negative divided by negative is positive, and that's just a fraction. I could write that as 0.8 or 8 tenths, but that wouldn't make sense. If I can just leave it as a fraction for a slope, and then here this would be minus 4. So over here, hopefully you can figure it out that the slope would be up 4 over 5, and the y-intercept would be negative 4. Cool. Right. So then this is what I wanted you to try during some of the class time today is numbers 5, 6, 7, and then if you want to try 8, you could. Numbers, and then number 9, you might get a couple of these for homework tonight, is I want you to put it in slope intercept form and then graph it. So pause the video now and try those. All right, let's go through them together. First one, I'm going to go much quicker because now I'm just showing you the answers. So I minus 6x on both sides. 2y equals negative 6x plus 14. Divide everything by 2. This one works out nicely. Y equals negative 3x plus 7. So I have a y-intercept of 7 and a slope of negative 3. Number 6, minus x from both sides. Negative 5y equals negative x plus 10. Divided everything by negative 5. And y. This one I'm curious. Hopefully, I don't know if you saw this, but this has a negative 1. So it's actually a fraction. It's negative 1. Negative 1 divided by negative 5 is just 1/5 x minus 2. And so then I would put my slope is 1/5. My y-intercept is negative 2. Number 7, hopefully you saw the assume negative 1 there. So I minus 5x minus 5x. Negative 1y equals negative 5x minus 8. Divide everything by negative 1. And I'm left with y equals 5x plus 8. So my slope, hopefully you put here, is 5. My y-intercept is 8. And that's how I convert those. If you try number 8, it really wasn't too hard, depending on how you look at it, but you really just minus x, 2y equals negative, minus 10 equals negative x, and then you add 10 to both sides. You get 2y equals negative x plus 10. Divide everything by 2. Yeah, maybe it is kind of hard. You're left with y equals negative 1/2 x plus 5. And if I graph this, I would go to 5, down 1 over 2, down 1 over 2, down 1 over 2, and up 1 over 2. If I graph that. Hopefully you're able to try this one, though. So minus 3x on both sides. You should have got negative 4y equals negative 3x minus 12. Divide each side by negative 4. Everything gets divided by negative 4. And I'm left with y equals positive 3/4 x plus 3. And then I put a dot at 3. And then I go up 3. 1, 2, 3. And over 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Down 3. Left 4. I'm going to do that one more time. 1, 2, 3. And left 2, 3. It goes off the graph, but it'd be something like that if you graph that. So hopefully now you're able to convert things that are not in standard form. Again, standard form looking like this, and change it to the way we used to graph and get information, which is slope intercept form.